Hi, my name is Yasmin. This is Easy English Podcast, based on real news from around the world. Today's story is from Indonesia, a country made up of thousands of islands and home to more than 270 million people. Earlier this year, Indonesia's government launched a huge program to give free nutritious lunches to school children across the country. But was supposed to be a project to fight hunger and improve children's health has now turned into a national crisis. Thousands of students have become sick after eating the free food, and critics say the program is putting children's lives in danger. Joining me is Isaac, who will explain what went wrong and what this tragedy means for Indonesia's future. This news is from October 20th, 2025. Isaac, can you start by explaining what happened and how children became sick from free school lunches?
Yes, Yasmin. It started in late September in the district of Sipangkor, located in West Java province. At one local school, students were eating their usual free lunch, fried chicken, rice, lettuce, and strawberries, when many of them suddenly began to feel sick. They experienced stomach pain, fever, and vomiting. One of the students, Asep Sulaman, was just 17. His mother, Kuku Mulyati, said she received a terrifying phone call telling her that her son had been rushed to a clinic. When she arrived, there were hundreds of sick children lying on stretchers. She ran from bed to bed, searching for her son. He eventually recovered, but he missed 2 weeks of school. Asep was only one of more than 1,300 children who fell ill that week. Doctors later confirmed that the food they ate was contaminated with Salmonella and Bacillus cereus, two kinds of bacteria that cause serious food poisoning.
That sounds awful. And this happened because of the government's new lunch program?
Yes, the program is called MBG, which stands for Makan Bergizi Gratis, or Free Nutritious Meals. It was launched by President Prabowo Subianto in January 2025. The goal was to improve children's nutrition and support local farmers by providing free meals at schools and for pregnant women. On paper, it was an inspiring idea. Indonesia is a huge country spread across 3 time zones, with many poor areas where children don't always get enough healthy food. So when the government promised free meals, many families were very happy. It helped parents save money, and for many children, it became their only full meal of the day. But soon, reports of food poisoning began to spread from province to province: West Java, East Java, South Sulawesi, and the Riau Islands. In some places, students found maggots in their food. In others, the rice contained tiny pieces of glass. And one viral video showed kitchen workers washing food trays with soap, then rinsing them in dirty, stagnant water.
That's shocking. How could something like this happen on such a large scale?
Experts say the main problem is the lack of regulation and planning. A public health expert named Dia Saminarsi, who leads the Center for Indonesia's Strategic Development Initiatives, said the program was started without clear safety rules. There were no official standards for how kitchens should prepare, store, or deliver food. She said, "There are no regulations, no playbook, no references. Everything is up to interpretation." President Prabowo has defended the program. He said it has already fed around 30 million people, including children and pregnant women, and that the cases of food poisoning represent only a very small percentage. 0.0017%, in his words. But nutritionists argue that this number means little when real children are getting sick. One expert, Dr. Tan Shat Yen, said that margin of error might be acceptable in a shoe factory. But we are talking about human lives, not a product.
So even if only a small number of meals cause illness, it's still unacceptable when it happens to children.
Exactly. And there are many challenges. Indonesia's geography makes it extremely difficult to manage such a large program. The country stretches over 17,000 islands, with millions of students in rural schools far from big cities. That means food has to be prepared in thousands of small local kitchens, many of which lack refrigeration, clean water, or trained staff. The National Nutrition Agency, which runs the program, admitted that oversight has been weak. Its deputy chief, Nanak S. Dayang, publicly apologized, saying, "We were negligent in our supervision, and for that, we sincerely apologize." She promised that inspectors will now visit kitchens without warning and make sure they are using fresh ingredients and sterilized equipment.
Has the government done anything else to fix the problem?
They've announced new safety checks and better hygiene standards. They also said the meals should include more local and traditional foods, like rice, vegetables, and fresh fruit, instead of processed snacks such as sausages and cookies. The goal is to make the food both nutritious and culturally familiar, so children will eat it while staying healthy. But critics say the problems go deeper. Some say the program grew too fast. The original plan was to serve 17 million people, but that number was quickly expanded to 83 million, almost 5 times larger. That put enormous pressure on local kitchens and health officials. Public health groups also warned that Indonesia's military and police, who help manage the program, should not be involved in running a civilian food project. Some believe the rapid expansion benefits President Prabowo's political allies more than it benefits the children. Still, many parents remain torn. For poor families like Kuku's, the program has been a blessing, helping them afford other needs. But now, mothers and fathers are afraid to let their kids eat the meals at school. They don't know whether the food is clean, and trust has been broken. So far, a local health think tank has documented nearly 11,500 cases of food poisoning linked to the free meal program. Experts are urging the government to slow down, review every kitchen, and rebuild the system from the ground up. Dia Saminarsi put it simply, you cannot achieve public health without political commitment, but do not abuse it.
That's such an important reminder. It's not enough to mean well. Programs like this must also be safe and responsible.
Exactly, Yasmin. The idea of free nutritious meals is good, even beautiful, but if it's done too quickly or without control, it can cause real harm. This crisis is a lesson for governments everywhere. When you promise to feed children, you must first make sure the food won't make them sick.
That's it for today's episode of Easy English Podcast. I'm Yasmin.
And I'm Isaac.
Thank you for listening, and see you next time.